Hello there, fellow motorists. Getting a flat tire, it's an experience most drivers dread. But fear not, my friends, because I'm here to tell you that changing a tire is easier than you might think. It's like baking a cake, but instead of flour and sugar, you're dealing with metal and rubber, and instead of a delicious treat, you get the satisfaction of conquering a common car problem. Now, I know what you're thinking. James, I'm no mechanic. And you know what? That's perfectly all right. This guide is for everyone, from the seasoned driver to the absolute beginner. We'll go through each step together, nice and easy, just like a leisurely Sunday drive. We'll demystify the process, dispel the myths, and before you know it, you'll be swapping tires like a seasoned pit crew member. This isn't just about changing a tire, it's about empowerment. It's about taking control of your vehicle and feeling confident in your abilities. It's about the freedom of knowing that you can handle this situation, no matter where you are. So grab your metaphorical toolbox and let's get started. Remember, the open road awaits, and a little flat tire isn't going to stop us, is it? Now let's get down to business and learn how to change a tire like a pro. Before we begin our tire changing adventure, we need to assemble our trusty toolkit. No, we won't need a sonic screwdriver or a laser spanner, just a few basic tools that you likely already have in your car. First, you'll need your car's owner's manual. This magical booklet is like the encyclopedia of your car, containing a wealth of information, including instructions on where to find your spare tire and jack. Speaking of which, the spare tire is our next essential item. Make sure it's properly inflated. A flat spare tire is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Next up, we have the jack, the muscle of our operation. It's the tool that will lift your car and allow us to remove the flat tire. And finally, we need the lug wrench, the key to removing those stubborn lug nuts that hold the tire in place. These are the bare essentials, my friends, the A-team of tire changing tools. Of course, a few optional extras can make our lives easier. A pair of work gloves will keep your hands clean and protected, while a flashlight or headlamp will be invaluable if you're caught with a flat tire at night. And for added safety, a reflective triangle placed behind your car will alert other drivers to your presence. Now, before we even think about touching those lug nuts, let's talk about safety. Changing a tire can be dangerous if you don't take the proper precautions. Remember, we're not trying to recreate a scene from an action movie here. We want to get this done safely and efficiently. First and foremost, find a safe, level surface to work on. Avoid soft ground or hills, as this could cause the car to slip off the jack. Once you've found the perfect spot, engage your parking brake and put the car in park or in gear if you have a manual transmission. This will prevent the car from rolling while you're working. Now it's time to grab those reflective triangles we talked about earlier. Place them a good distance behind your car to warn oncoming traffic. This is especially important if you're on a busy road or have poor visibility. Remember, safety is paramount. We want to avoid any mishaps, so take your time, follow these precautions, and we'll get through this together, safe and sound. Before we break out the jack and wrench, let's make sure you actually need to change your tire. Not all tire troubles require a full-blown replacement. Sometimes a simple reinflation can get you back on the road. So how can you tell if your tire is truly flat or just feeling a little deflated? The most obvious sign is a visibly flat tire. If it looks like you could use it as a pancake griddle, then yeah, it's probably time for a change. But what if it's not that obvious? Well, another telltale sign is a sudden loss of tire pressure. If you're driving along and your car starts pulling to one side, or you feel an unusual vibration in the steering wheel, it's time to pull over and check your tires. You can use a tire pressure gauge to check the pressure. Most gas stations have air pumps with built-in gauges. And finally, listen to your car. A thumping sound, especially at low speeds, could indicate a flat tire. If you're unsure, it's always best to err on the side of caution and pull over to inspect your tires. Step 4, finding a safe haven. All right, so you've determined that your tire is indeed flat and needs changing. The next step is to find a safe and stable location to perform this automotive surgery. Remember, safety first. Ideally, you want to find a flat, level surface away from traffic. A quiet side street or a parking lot are perfect examples. Avoid stopping on a bend or a hill if at all possible, as this could make it dangerous to change the tire. If you're on a busy road, try to pull off as far as possible onto the shoulder. Turn on your hazard lights to alert other drivers to your presence. It's better to drive a short distance on a flat tire to reach a safer location than to risk changing it in a dangerous spot. Once you've found a suitable location, engage your parking brake and put the car in park. If you have wheel wedges or bricks, now's the time to use them. Place them behind the rear tires or front tires if you're changing a front tire to prevent any unwanted movement. Step 5. Loosening the lug nuts. With our car safely parked and our tools at the ready, it's time to get down to business. Our first target, the lug nuts. These little guys are what hold the tire securely to the car, and they can be surprisingly stubborn. Now, before you go all Hulk Hogan on them, there's a little trick to loosening them. The key is to use leverage, not brute force. Position your lug wrench so that the bar is horizontal, giving you maximum leverage. Then, using your body weight, push down on the bar to loosen the lug nuts. Remember, we're only loosening them at this stage, not removing them completely. Turn the wrench counterclockwise, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty to loosen. You should feel the nut give way after a bit of resistance. Repeat this process for all the lug nuts on the tire. If you find that the lug nuts are incredibly tight and refuse to budge, don't panic. There are a few things you can try. First, make sure you're using the correct size lug wrench. If it's too small, you won't have enough leverage. You can also try spraying the lug nuts with a bit of WD-40 or penetrating oil, which can help to loosen them up. Step 6. Jack it up gently now. With the lug nuts loosened, we can now move on to the main event, lifting the car. This is where our trusty jack comes into play. But before we start pumping, it's crucial to position the jack correctly to avoid any damage to your car. Consult your car's owner's manual to locate the designated jack points. These are reinforced areas on the underside of the car specifically designed to handle the weight of the vehicle when lifted. Placing the jack in the wrong spot could damage your car's frame or undercarriage. Once you've located the correct jack point, align the jack head with it and begin pumping the jack handle. You should feel the car start to rise slowly. Continue pumping until the tire is about 2 inches off the ground. It's essential to lift the car just high enough to remove the flat tire and have enough clearance to install the spare. Lifting it too high can be unstable and dangerous, and always double check that the jack is securely positioned and the car is stable before proceeding to the next step. Step 7. Off with the old. With the car safely lifted, we can now bid farewell to our flat tire. It's been a bumpy ride, but it's time to part ways. Grab your lug wrench and finish unscrewing the lug nuts we loosened earlier. Once the lug nuts are removed, you can carefully pull the tire towards you. The tire might be stuck to the hub due to rust or debris, so you might need to wiggle it a bit to break it free. If it's really stubborn, you can try giving the tire a gentle kick with your foot. Wear sturdy shoes to loosen it. With the tire off, lay it flat on the ground to prevent it from rolling away. You can use it as a visual reminder of the steps you've taken so far. And while you're at it, take a moment to inspect the brake components behind the tire for any signs of damage or wear.